This is your Monex Metals Market Update with Mike Maroney.
Good afternoon. It's Monday, September 25th. My name is Mike Maroney, and I am coming to you today from the Monex Precious Metals Studio. Let's do our week in preview. Well, we started off the week with a lot of volatility. Gold and silver were both down. Silver was all the way down around 1680, and gold was down at 1295 this morning. But lo and behold, a little bit of saber rattling by North Korea, and boom, we saw gold pop all the way up from 1295 to 1315, and silver ran from 1680 all the way up to 1717. It just gives you a brief glimpse of what could happen to this market once things really start to come apart and investors start to move into safe haven. Now let's talk a little bit about North Korea. First of all, it's a very interesting situation. China has already told North Korea if they start any sort of war that they will not support them. But China has also told the United States if we start a war, then they will have to back North Korea. So the bottom line is, unless our president gets really crazy and makes some decision to actually attack, we're probably not going to see a war in the Korean Peninsula. But unfortunately, because of the uncertainty that's involved with the current regime, investors have moved into gold and silver very quickly today on the premise that who knows what Mr. Trump might do. Now, we also had the Federal Reserve last week talk about quantitative tightening, and we're going to get a glimpse of what that actually does to the market. But if you look at the S&P and the Dow Jones, you'll see that they're retesting all-time highs. So obviously, people haven't run home to mama quite yet as investors continue to stay in the equities. But consider this. If the central banks putting $16 trillion of additional capital into the market over the last 8 years has supported all of the international stock markets and the U.S. market, what will happen if suddenly that money starts to come out? A lot of people believe we could see a major correction in the stock market, and many of the major pundits believe once this bear market starts in stocks, it may be the greatest bear market we ever experience. With all of these things taking place, it certainly makes sense to have a portion of your portfolio in safe haven investments. And gold and silver fit that bill tremendously well, especially when you consider the current prices. So, what are we looking for this week? Well, obviously, we've had hurricanes, we've had earthquakes, we've had geopolitical uncertainty, we've had a Fed make an announcement about potentially utilizing quantitative tightening. What other type of uncertainty lies out on the horizon? Well, we have the European election. Now, Mrs. Merkel didn't do as well as expected, and the euro has fallen from the 120 area all the way back down to 118. And many people believe that that situation is a failed experiment that inevitably will break apart. And once that starts to come apart, imagine what the ancillary effects will be on the world's banks when you consider how much debt all of those countries hold and how much of their debt is held by the international banks. There's a lot to worry about in today's economy, and without a doubt, people are making money in many different venues. But right now may be one of the better times to think about safe haven. Own a little bit of gold, buy it, take delivery of it, stick it away. Hopefully you'll never need it, but quite frankly, I think one day you'll be glad you do. Give us a call so we can talk to you about how gold, silver, platinum, and palladium fit into your portfolio. Thank you.